Have you ever had the thought of what happens to my life insurance policy if I become disabled and I can't work, so I can't make an income, so I can't pay my premiums? Has that thought ever crossed your mind? I want you to type in the comments below if you've wondered that before. Go ahead and say yes. And if you haven't, go ahead and share with me no as well. That's never been a thought on your mind before. Now, did you know that you can create a bulletproof life insurance policy by making sure that you have this one small tweak, this rider, this addition that adds on to your life insurance policy to make sure it's bulletproof, meaning it performs the best possible in the widest range of circumstances. This is called waiver of premium. Waiver, like I'm waving a flag, or waiver, like I can bypass the ability to do something of premium. I can bypass the ability to pay premiums. Now, this applies to disability in a really interesting way, because if you become disabled, the policy will be paid for by the life insurance company. That's right. The life insurance company itself will pay the premiums to keep your policy moving forward. So I want to walk you through 3 questions that you need to think about to consider how to make sure that your life insurance policy can become that cornerstone of your financial success story and can really truly pass on that legacy and perform the way that you had hoped it would. Now, the first question is, what would happen to my life insurance policy if I became disabled? Now, many people don't actually consider this question, but it's really important. You need to know what exactly will happen if you become disabled and you can't pay your premiums. Now, in a typical case, without this waiver of premium rider, your policy would have multiple options. Now, if it's been in force for a certain length of time, you could reduce pay up, meaning you could use your current cash value to buy as much death benefit as possible so that no more premium is due. Now, you really want to be careful that you don't put the policy in a MEC status or modified endowment contract, because then you lose your tax advantages. But that is an option for you on the policy. Or you could use a policy loan to borrow against your cash value to pay your premiums. Or you could pay from policy values, meaning use up a portion of the cash value or have the dividends go ahead and be applied to pay the premiums. So there's lots of options. There's many ways that you can move forward and keep your life insurance policy intact without paying premiums out of your own pocket. But those options are dependent on how much cash value is in your policy and how long it's been in force. Also, the key to note is that without waiver of premium, every single other option will limit your cash value or limit your death benefit from performing the way that you had hoped when you put the policy in place. So that's the first question to answer if you want a bulletproof life insurance policy. Now, the second question is, how often does disability actually happen? Now, I know we probably all have someone that we can relate to, that we've seen either a family member or a friend who has become disabled, or we've seen a story of disability. But many times we can have this idea or mindset that it could never happen to me. Now, unfortunately, disability is way more common than we would like to hope. Here's a few statistics that I want to read for you. 25% of 20-year-olds entering the workforce will suffer some income interrupting disability during their careers. That's 25%. If you're 20 years old, 25% of you will be in a position where you'll have an income disrupting disability. 1 in 8 workers will be disabled for 5 years or more during their working careers. 1 in 8. Disabled for 5 years or more. Now that's a long disability, and a 1 in 8 chance, that's actually pretty high. And if we look at disability overall, 12% of Americans, which is over 37 million people, are classified as disabled. That's a lot of people. So instead of thinking it could never happen to me, it's really humbling and sobering to think that we really want to make sure we're prepared for the worst circumstance to happen in our life, even if we want to live for the greatest life that we can possibly create. Now, the third question you need to answer to bulletproof your life insurance policy is to ask this: what puts me in the best position in the widest range of circumstances? Now, that just means no matter what happens, how do I make sure that I work out the best? Now, certainly having waiver of premium allows you to make sure your life insurance policy will perform the best in the widest range of circumstances. What this means is that during having your life insurance in force, if you become disabled, the life insurance policy itself will be paid for, meaning you can keep that policy in force. You can maintain building that cash value, building the death benefit, and you can be able to use this policy to help you through the challenging times. Now, if you did face a disability, chances are you're not going to want to work during that time. You're probably not going to want to send your spouse or your significant other to go work either. They might be taking care of you. You want to be in a position where you can take one thing off the table and have one less bill to be concerned about, because life insurance is really something you want to be there for you no matter what. So to make sure that you have insurance on your insurance that covers your ability to not be able to pay for your life insurance policy, you really want to have a self-completing life insurance policy. And you do that by making sure you have waiver of premium. Now, many times people will say, I don't want waiver of premium because it's a drag on my policy performance, meaning I'm not going to have as much early cash value. But think of this. How much early cash value and how much death benefit do you want in place just to be at the risk of having to reduce that if you did face a disability? We want to make sure that you have confidence and peace of mind in every circumstance to the best of your ability. And that's why waiver of premium is the number one way that you can make sure you bulletproof your life insurance.